Okay everyone, we are back on the channel and we're looking ahead to Trophy Day. Now I was going to put this video out on Friday, but I figured why not give you a bit more of a run up to the game. We'll put it out on Thursday evening. We've got Jackie McNamara back on the channel. Asim is here as well, guys. We'll start with the poor stuff and then work our way up to the joy of Callum McGregor lifting that trophy above his head in like less than 48 hours. Poor display last night, Jackie. 2-1 up at Easter Road and we go on to lose 4-2. Never great. But how much of this can we put down to the fact that the league has already been won? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that is the case. I mean, Hibs are still going for something there. You know, they needed the result, whereas Celtic, I mean, they've made a lot of changes. Have changed goalkeeper, back four's been changed the last few games. And obviously it gives Ange a chance to look at things as well for players that are maybe, been knocking on his door waiting for an opportunity. Then to say, we need game time. So that'll be on his mind as well. What ones that he maybe thinks that that he can call upon next season if there's injuries or suspensions like we've had obviously with Carter Vickers missing there. He's been obviously a big loss at the back.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling you might give that response, so I did a wee bit of digging into your days playing for Celtic, so you'll remember this, but 2001, Martin O'Neill's first season, we lost our last two matches. Dundee beat us 2-0 at Celtic Park and then we lost at Kilmarnock. 2004, after we clinched the league at Rugby Park, we went 3 without a win, pretty similar to this season actually. We lost 2-1 at home to Aberdeen, drew 1-1 with Hearts and lost 2-1 at home to Dunfermline Athletic. So it does happen.
Well, that first one with Martin, we'd just been a week in Spain, so we'd have a party week. We'd been away and a bit sort of build up and relaxing after we'd won the league, and sort of building up. Obviously, we were going for the treble as well that season, so we had a week away in Spain, and Martin was absolutely livid with their performance against Dundee at home when we lost. He wasn't happy at all. The other ones there, between everybody staying fit and making sure they don't pick up injuries or they want to play in the final, and that's what you'll have as well. People that's maybe been nursing injuries for the last sort of month to get over the line, and then maybe take a bit of time out, and you're seeing that with a lot of changes in the team. So I think there's two bits to it. Obviously not having anything to play for apart from obviously the pride side. The league's done, but they kind of go through the motions. It's different. It's a different mindset when there's nothing to get at the end of it.
I mean, I totally get that. Asim, what have you made? We obviously spoke after the game on Saturday. I thought Saturday was incredible compared to last night. I mean, last night was kind of the low point of recent weeks. What have you kind of made of it?
Yeah, no, it's interesting to hear, obviously, Jackie's perspective as a player. I remember the Dundee game quite well back in 2001. The 2-0 was like a nice kind of sunny day, but it was just such a non-event of a game. And I think we've seen this throughout in recent seasons and even going back as far as Martin O'Neill's time. It does happen. It's to be expected. I wonder if part of it is just because we've came to expect Ange to be quite the perfectionist and the way he talks and the way he's kind of come across is, this is not something that he would accept a drop off. I think obviously we kind of comment how we see it. We've been gushing in praise all season, and the team's rightly deserved it. But I think since that the title clincher, it hasn't been good enough. Obviously we know that the main task has been done, but for me the Ibrox display, it wasn't good enough because that's still a derby game. You still want to see us, putting everything on the line there. The St Mirren game, like you said, was okay. Wasn't our best performance, but then again last night, some of the performances and just the way we kind of collapsed towards the end. Again, it's not what we've come used to seeing. And because we have got a cup final, sometimes you feel like it's hard just to switch that back on. But again, obviously, Jackie, you'll know from that first treble season under Martin, we were brilliant in the final against Hibs. So it just shows you that it can be done. In isolation, I'm not worried about the cup final, but yeah, you do want to see a reaction now. This Saturday, I think, becomes more important in terms of lifting the mood and just kind of getting everyone feeling good about it again.
Yeah, I mean, just on that, Jackie, Scottish Cup final, should we be worried about Celtic not being able to pick it up, or when it suddenly matters again, do you just find a different level?
Yeah, there's a different preparation. You'll see that this weekend. I agree that this weekend I think you'll see a better performance. It's our last home game of the season. I want to put on a show, and the players will want to build up for the final in that game. You'll see probably. I'd be surprised if it wasn't more towards the team that you'll see starting in the final. You want something they want to play maybe 60 minutes, make sure they'll come through that with no injuries, and build up for that, because that's obviously the important bit now. The league's won, it's down in history, and they want to put more history with winning the Scottish Cup.
Yeah, he was quite defensive almost of the players last night. It has been recently. There's been a few questions, by various journalists who you could probably guess, kind of negative leading questions, and he's kind of batted them away quite easily and quite happily. And there's been a few good sound bites. There was one last night about, do you want us to win the league by 20 points every year? But privately, Jackie, do you think he's learned a lot from the last three matches?
100%. You'll learn all the time from them, because these guys will be waiting, and sometimes they'll come on when it's the game's done. They may come on at 3-0 and they'll want the ball and the confidence up. But when you've got to come on and win the game, or you come on when you're up against it, and getting beat, that's when you see what they're made of more. And he'll have learned a lot from that. Obviously he's not going to throw anybody under the bus with the media. You can see that he's protecting his goalkeeper after it, and said he did a few good saves, but even though he had a howler for one of the goals, again, that's purely maybe down to not playing enough football, not being, concentration, little things like that, which maybe from a few of the players' point of view, but they'll need to be switched on for Saturday, obviously, then in for the cup final.
I think it's a big game Saturday. Trophy day is usually a bit of a non-event. It's all about what happens after the game, but a wee bit different on Saturday, Asim.
Yeah, no, I think you make a good point, because I've noticed that with Ange's kind of sound bites and responses in the last couple of weeks. He has been quite defensive, but just knowing what we know of Ange, I wonder if, deep down he's quite frustrated with how we've tailored off in the last couple of weeks as well, because he does strike me as someone who doesn't want standards to drop, especially when we've got such a big cup final coming up. So I wonder if privately he's expecting more. He took that he shouldered the kind of blame last night by saying he's been making a lot of changes. But again, like the St Mirren game previously, there wasn't as many changes, so it does kind of beg the question: is at certain positions where we see quite a drop off when we take certain players out. Noticeably, obviously, Carter Vickers, which is the one that we've all noticed. We've conceded 9 goals in 3 games, which isn't great. But Alistair Johnson as well, he's been brilliant for us. So you do notice that. In terms of Saturday, yeah, I do feel now that it does kind of play a bit more significance than ordinarily it might have, just because I feel like we need that kind of boost, be it performance, result, just to get the place lifted. It's been too good a season for it to kind of fizzle out the way it has. I think the players deserve that kind of one final big result and performance, the fans, the manager, and I think and I hope we will see that, because as I say, we've been brilliant for 33, 34 games. We were on course to have our records points total, record goals scored. So it would we'd like to see it not just fizzle out, and hopefully Saturday will be a fitting end.
Because you think back to last year, Jackie, Trophy Day was incredible, and I think it was kind of improved further by the 6-0 win against Motherwell. I want to chat about James Forrest today. You've probably seen this, everyone. He's been given a Celtic testimonial. We will play La Liga Giants Athletic Club. You may know them as Athletic Bilbao at Celtic Park on August the 1st, 7:30pm. A midweek testimonial seems a little bit rare. I think Larson's was maybe midweek. The game will obviously honour Forrest, who's been on our books for over 20 years, as well as forming part of Athletic's 125th anniversary celebrations. Celtic say that James Forrest has decided that a significant proportion of the money raised will go to charity, with the Kilbride Hospice and Celtic Foundation benefiting. Testimonials, Jackie, you had yours against Asim. Who did Jackie have his testimonial against?
Was it Man United?
Oh dear.
No.
Tell him, Jackie.
Ireland, probably Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Robbie Keane score that game?
Yeah.
1-0.
1-0. We had the cup final the day before as well, and some boys
Right.
were a bit worse for wear, shall we say, in playing the match. Had to make a few substitutions, but the Republic needed the game as well, for the build up for their qualifiers. So it tied in with that. So it just was a bit close the day after the cup final. But it was a good day, a really good day.
I mean, like, for James Forrest, it must be, quite a big thing. He's certainly deserving for me in terms of, what he's given the club. But just talk us a wee bit through how do testimonials come about? Does someone approach you? How does it work?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's changed a bit now, but yeah, they approach you and they have a committee set up and they organise it. You don't have anything to do with it. You just basically...
Do you pick the team? No.
No, I don't. I didn't pick the team. I only asked for a couple of players to come back. You can imagine, which was Henrik. Henrik played in Lubo, and Simon Donnelly. Those are the three players that I wanted to play alongside my current team. So, but I think it was Martin and the gaffer took the team as well. He made the substitutions. He kept me on. I managed to get a game in my own testimonial, but no, it was a good day.
I mean, he's deserving of it, isn't he, Asim? It's good opponents as well. It's going to be, I think, a good crowd for that. I don't know if it will sell out, but it will be a good crowd in another kind of pre-season game.
Yeah, he's definitely deserving. I don't know how many seasons is that now he's been. I remember the game. I was at the game when he came on and under Lennon.
2009, I think.
Yeah, he's been a great servant. He's been part of a lot of good memories. He's one of the most is he the most decorated as well? Am I right in saying that? In recent times,
he's the most decorated for Prestwick anyway, which is a wonderful place.
Yeah,
but I'm biased.
So no, it'll be a good occasion, and yeah, a good send off for him, because we've had a lot of kind of players recent times that have not maybe had that proper send off that they've merited. So it should be a good occasion, and yeah, fitting opponents as well, because we've kind of got a good connection with Bilbao.
We've already announced 3 other pre-season fixtures. We'll face Yokohama F. Marinos on July the 19th, Gamba Osaka on July the 22nd, and Wolves in South Korea on July the 26th. So obviously after we come back, James Forrest testimonial, and then we're into the new season. Right, guys, we need to talk about it. There's been a report today linking Spurs with a move for Ange Postecoglou. The Independent's chief football writer Miguel Delaney saying that Spurs are now strongly considering Ange, says he's seen as one of the main candidates. I obviously don't want to spend too long in this, because I feel like Ange getting linked to these jobs is nothing new, but I do also know that if we didn't mention it, it might be a wee bit weird. So what are we thinking about this, Asim? There seems to be a fair bit of worry among people. What are you thinking?
I'm not worried. Spurs are one of the better clubs, obviously, down there. They, with their stadium and their aspirations for European football. But I don't worry for this summer. I think Ange has been pretty clear. When he's recently said, "You'll be surprised how long I'll be here." He doesn't strike me as somebody who just says things. I know in the past we've been stung. I did not see Brendan Rodgers leaving when he did. So, I'm not naive enough to think he's going to be around forever, or that there's no job out there that could tempt him even as early as this summer. But I just feel like he's got a plan, he's got a vision, and I think he's definitely going to give it a go for next season. I think he wants to test himself again in the Champions League. Spurs, the amount of good managers that have been there, and it just doesn't seem to work. Again, I think Ange is someone who will think carefully before any moves, and it's not the best structure to work under, it seems, over there as well. So for me, I'm not worried. I think Ange will be around for at least another season. And yeah, I seen the article, and I've seen a lot of people kind of maybe a bit worried about it because it is Spurs, and it's not like I don't know, one of the mid-table clubs in England, even though they are kind of mid-table this season. But yeah, I'm confident he'll be around.
Jackie, should we be worried?
Again, I think he will go at some point. It's just I agree that maybe it's not this summer just for what he said before, but you never know. As I said, nobody thought Brendan was going to leave when he did. I think when Ange does go, he will go at the end of a season rather than midway through or whatever, because to implement his ideas and the way he wants his team to play, I think he's one of the managers that needs to get in and do a pre-season and right from the word go, put his stuff across. So, yeah, I mean, I think if he is going, it would be a club like Tottenham. It would be a club like Spurs that would go. The connection there. There's a connection there in different ways. So maybe another year, 2 years in time, maybe, but hopefully not just now.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it, to be honest, guys. Just to add a wee bit more worry into it, I was found out earlier that recently appointed chief football officer at Spurs is an Aussie called Scott Munn, who used to be part of the City football group. So that may concern you a little bit more, but this is a happy place, so let's move on and look ahead to Trophy Day when we're going to lift that trophy. Full stadium tifo for the game, but before the Green Brigade have announced that, it's going to be spectacular. I do have a mole inside the club. It's not Ange Postecoglou, but I do believe that there are going to be people on the display. So make of that what you want. Will it be Ange? Will it be another famous figure from Celtic's past? Multiple people? It should be pretty spectacular, Asim.
Yeah, when the Green Brigade have done that in the past, it's been great. I think look back to the Barcelona one, the Aberdeen one at the start of the season as well. So I'm looking forward to it. Should be a joyous occasion. The weather's to be good, and hopefully a fitting performance as well to match. And we've been, like you say, we've been critical of the last couple of performances, but if we go out and put a performance on Saturday and it's going to be joyous celebrations again, that'll all kind of be forgotten about. So no, I'm looking forward to it, and it'll be interesting to see the display, see what they've got up their street.
What's the mindset before these trophy days, Jackie? Are you focused on the game? Are you already thinking about the medal?
No, you're focused on the game. The manager will put that across, I think, but they will have one eye on the final. There's no doubt about that. They want to come through it unscathed, and they'll be more interested in getting ready for that, for the final. Everybody will want to play in that. So, but I'm sure Ange will have them pumped up, and the fans. To be fair, the fans will dictate that with the energy in the stadium anyway to celebrate. That'll get them raising that little bit extra as well.
I think we're all kind of agreed that we should go full strength for this game, even though we've got the Scottish Cup coming the following week. I mean, playing devil's advocate, is there a worry about injuries? Would you rest players at all for the Scottish Cup final, Jackie?
No, I think they would have done that last night. As I said, I think he'll start. I'd imagine might start as close to the team as he can at the weekend, and then maybe take players off after an hour, like he normally does anyway. He normally makes his substitutions, so he'll maybe make his changes. Give them 60 minutes, and make all his changes in, and get everybody ready for the final next week.
Do you want to give us a team, Asim? You can include Alistair Johnson if you want to.
I don't think Johnson will start tomorrow. I think if he's in contention for the final, he might get some minutes just to get a bit of game time. But I think we'll see Ralston start tomorrow. And I think Joe Hart will come back in. Centre back pairing, I'd imagine he'll go with Kobayashi and Starfelt again, Taylor, McGregor, Hatate, O'Reilly, Kyogo, Jota, and is Maida? Does he miss this game?
Suspended,
Yeah,
yeah.
suspended. So I think Abada might play on the right hand side and Jota on the left.
Because Haksabanovic is out injured as well, and Ange didn't seem to sound too positive about his chances of being back for the cup final, so it sounds like he might miss the end of the season. Obviously Maida, as we say, is missing. That would probably be pretty close to my team for the cup final as well. Aberdeen have secured third last night, so they're not playing for a great deal. They actually want us to beat Inverness in the final because it gets them a guaranteed group stage place in Europe next season. So it's kind of a weird one for them. We're going to put in a big display. We must surely to finish the season, Jackie. We're going to be brilliant, score some goals. Come on.
Yeah, I think they will. As I said, I think the fans will demand that are there. It's at home, which is totally different as well. I'd possibly like to see, like I said, Johnson starting if he's got a little chance of playing the cup final. Even give them half a game, and start him in the game and see how he is, and then maybe take him off and give him that opportunity for the final. You'd imagine Taylor come back in, Hart and goals. So just the rest of the team that you said, midfield kind of picks itself at the moment as well. So the players will be up for it. As I said, the fans will demand it as well and push them on. And I think it'll be a good performance.
We're all off to Merchant City after the game, Jackie. You're obviously going to come up for that party with your bottle of whatever in your hand post-match.
Yeah, aye, possibly. Well, I've not so much in Merchant City, but you can go up to a bar in Sauchiehall Street. I'll put that wee pocket.
Nicely done. I didn't even mean to set you up for that one, but you took the opportunity. Do you want to tell people what it is and where it is?
It's up in Sauchiehall Street. It's opened 3 weeks ago. It's been good so far. Been up. I'm up.
Right.
Watched the two Rangers games. The first Rangers game was good to watch it, and there it was
Second
busy.
one wasn't.
It was good. Second one wasn't.
But that's nothing to do with the bar. That's the that's the game rather than the bar itself. But we might fire in for a pint on Sunday then.
Yeah.
Right, okay. We'll be back after the game. I think Stevie's going to join me for the reaction. We're also chatting to Ange after the game, so we'll bring you that on Sunday's video. The game's on Saturday. So yeah, enjoy Trophy Day. Have a great one, and let's hope for a big Celtic result.